What's good, everyone? Tay Casey back here with a wrestling review. Today I'm going to review Dragon Gate Pro Wrestling's Tag League Tournament, Rey de Parejas 2025. I'm going to review the final show from 3:30, as well as a quick oversight on the blocks. So starting off on A block, you got Yuki Yoshioka and Dragon Daya of D Courage. This team finished with 3 points. This team was more story-driven than actually tag-driven here, with Madoka Kakuta giving up his spot to the returning Yuki Yoshioka, and then proceeding to only win one match in the entire tournament. Next, you had the Paradox team of 2/3 of the Triangle Gate champions in Suzumu Yokozuka and Kagetora. These were your veteran workhorse team here. They finished with 5 points. Nothing particularly stood out to me, but it seemed like they were other people's MVPs. This is a good time to note that this tournament was weird the way it was booked. So Dragon Gate typically airs about 3 to 4 shows a month. So we were getting the first 2 days of this tournament, and then the last day or two in the middle. They tried to clean that up as the month went on. So there was some handheld footage shows that got uploaded on YouTube, as well as some heavily edited stuff that made it on the network. But it made it too hard to get excited about, and nothing on the tournament was too great, which is why I'm just doing an overview of the tag league and the teams rather than actual match reviews. Next, we have the A block winning team of Gold Class, Jackie, Kamei, and Riiita. As you guys know, this is my favorite team and favorite act in Dragon Gate right now. And to no surprise to anyone here, I thought they also had the strongest opening round with the most memorable stuff. I mean, a good match for pretty much everyone across the board here. Fourth, you got the current Open the Twin Gate champions in Z-Brats, the team of Kota, Minoura, and Jason Lee. These guys came in second and advanced to the semis as well. Nothing besides the gold class match really stood out to me. I did also like the Z-Brats match, which I'll talk about next here, because we had a second Z-Brats team of Ishin and Yoshiki Kato. Their match, Z-Brats versus Z-Brats, on March 2nd, I thought was really fun. You got the two heel teams, two sides of the same unit here, kind of healing it up against each other, which made for a fun dynamic. This iteration of Z-Brats finished with 5 points. And the final team in A block was the Mochizuki Dojo, representatives of Daiki Yanaguchi and Ryofuda. They got one win, which was kind of to be expected. Nothing really stood out for me here with these guys. Next, we got the B block with the third Triangle Gate champion, BB Hulk, and the Open the Brave Gate and Open the Dream Gate champion in Yamato as our second Paradox team. They finished with 5 points. It's hard to say that this wasn't a disappointment for these guys, but they only lost 2 times. Next up, we got the only Natural Vibes representative of Strong Machine J and KZ. They finished with 6 points and got to the tiebreaker round on the final day, facing off against Shun and Homare. These guys are really good. They're the last 2 Dreamgate challengers, so their matches are all pretty fun. Third, we got the Animal Japan team of Hyo and Kuroshi Tokyo Japan. These guys are all gimmick, all comedy. Bums me out because I really got into Hyo when I first got back into Dragon Gate, and he's just kind of been floundering here since Big Hug broke up. This team did win the B block with 8 points, but they're basically all entrants in all comedy spots. Fourth, we got the second Goldcast team of Ben K and Mochizuki Jr. They finished with 4 points. I think I watched at least 4 of these matches. I don't remember any of them. They were just kind of filler here. Fifth, we got the second Mochizuki Dojo team of Masaki Mochizuko and Akihiro Sahara. They finished with 1 point. They drew the Paradox team of Yamato and BB Hulk, which I think in part set up that match that we have coming up on the last show, as they prevented Paradox from having a 3-way tie for that tiebreaker match. And finally, we got the third Z-Brats team of Shun Skywalker and Homare. They finished with 6 points, making it to that tiebreaker match on the final show. With March being a pretty busy wrestling month and the odd rollout of this tournament, it was hard to get too into anything. I would say nothing was really great leading into the final show here, but there was certainly a lot of fun stuff. If you're familiar with the Dragon Gate roster, whichever acts you kind of relate to the most, you probably would have fun with. And it was cool seeing the different venues, having a bunch of stuff uploaded to YouTube in this heavily edited format was different, but it made it difficult to get into really any of the matches. Alright, so getting to the Rey de Parejas final show. Our opener was Natural Vibes versus the Z-Brats team of Shun Skywalker and Homare. This is to determine the second place team in B block. This was for the fourth and final spot in the Rey de Parejas final rounds. Z-Brats and Natural Vibes finished in a dead heat for second place, so sudden death was needed. KZ and Shun are two of the absolute best Dragon Gate has to offer, while Homare and Jay are young studs. This match I thought was really great for what it was, being lightning fast with lots of tag team offense and sudden shifts in momentum due to lucha tag rules. This felt like this was heading towards a 4-star match or higher, but just ended abruptly, probably due to the winner potentially wrestling 3 times on one show. I went 3 stars here, as this match never really got out of second gear due to the abrupt ending. Match 2, we had the Royal Sambo Battle Royal. Isuki Santa Maria, Luis Mate, Ho Lee, Punch Tamanagaya, Ho Ho Lun, Problem Dragon, Shachihoka Boy, Ben K, Ashi Yoshino, Yasuki Kanda, Doi Fuji, and finally Dragon Gate were the competitors in this match. This was Dragon Kid's first match back in Dragon Gate following his injury, and a few indie appearances including SF Quest that I reviewed on this channel. This was your classic get everyone on the card match and use Dragon Gate's version of the Royal Rumble to do it. The rules are slightly different on this match every time you see it, but ultimately it's just a battle royal with staggered entrances. This variation went a bit heavier on comedy than normal, which I thought really worked well. This was quick, harmless fun to get Dragon Gate back in the fold with a win. 2.5 stars. Match 3, we had a singles match as UT took on Mochizuki Jr. Seeing this match on paper seemed like it'd be a Mochi Jr. showcase, but this ended up being the opposite. UT not only got the win here, but almost all of the offense. He won when he had Mochi tied up like a pretzel for the submission victory. I went 2 1/4 here, another quick match that barely got out of the driveway. Match 4, Rey de Parejas semifinal match. Animal Japan versus the Z-Brats team of Jason Lee and Kota Minoura. Our first semifinal match kicks off with Z-Brats interrupting the Ho theme portion of the Animal Japan entrance, which I thought was a terrific bit. I'm not fond of the Kurishio character at all, and like all his matches, he got all his bits in here. Outside of that, this was mostly Hyo selling. This was fine for what it is. Your Animal Japan mileage may vary. For me, this meant a 2-star match. Match 4, our second semifinal match was Gold Class versus Z-Brats. Riiita and Jackie Kamei versus Shun Skywalker and Homare. This was my favorite match of the tournament thus far. Shun did a Hurricane Rana counter into an alley-oop where he rolled through into a Boston Crab, which I thought was sick. I thought these guys were working fast from the jump, but once we got to the final third of this match, it was lightning speed. There are probably better matches than this that I gave less than 4 stars this month, but this match was the perfect representation of what I love about Dragon Gate. I gave it 4 stars. I thought this ruled. Match 5, Mochizuki Dojo versus Paradox. As discussed in the block portion, Mochizuki Dojo scored a draw over the team of Yamato and BB Hulk, costing them the tiebreaker match that opened the show. So there was a bit of intrigue in this matchup here due to that. Despite all 4 members of Paradox being champions, neither team advanced to the semifinals, in part due to that disappointing result against Mochizuki Dojo. Daiki got stuck in the corner and Paradox took turns beating him up for the first of this match. Finally, Mochizuki got tagged in, and we get more of a back and forth here in the middle third of the match. Once Paradox gets the vet taken care of, the dojo trainees get taken care of in pretty short order, though Daiki shows the most fire. I went 2.5 stars on this. Post-match, Daiki attacks Yamato and challenges him to a Brave Gate title match, essentially being like an annoying gnat to Yamato, pestering him to give a shot. This was a long promo segment with GM Ryo Saito getting involved, and my assumption live was this match did get booked. I confirmed after the fact that this match was booked for the April 7th Korakuen Hall show. Semi-main event, D-Courage versus Z-Brats. The story of this match was the mounting tension between Yuki Yoshioka and Madoka Kakuta, and anytime D-Courage seemed to get the upper hand, the jealousy and tension between those two seemed to derail it. Once the tension reached the boiling point and the shoving match ensued, Z-Brats won in pretty short order. This was more of an angle than a match, but I thought it worked well. I went 2.5 stars here. Main event, Rey de Parejas finals. Z-Brats versus Z-Brats. Jason Lee and Kota Minoura versus Shun Skywalker and Homare. The finals of the Rey de Parejas was another inner turmoil match between 2 former Dreamgate champions. This felt like a battle for Z-Brats leadership as much as it did for the trophies. With this being 100% members of Z-Brats, we got multiple stretches of walking and brawling in the crowd. Finally, this match picks up in a real way in the final third, with great combination offense, great near falls, and a real level of intensity. This match would likely have been 4 stars if it had more of that final third in the opening portions of the match, rather than feeling like it was just going through the motions. Homare picks up a huge win here with the Firebird Splash, pinning Minoura to win the trophies and the tournament. I went 3.5 stars here. Overall, I thought this show offered quite a bit of fun, even if it only had one great match. I'm planning to go to Japan and be front row for Dead or Alive in May, so having so many story beats for this show here were enjoyable. I'm pretty intrigued with the roster up and down the card in Dragon Gate at the moment, and with this being a goofy April with the WrestleMania American Tour planned, some of the storytelling had to start now for May 5th. Shun and Homare bookending the show was a great choice, with Shun probably your biggest star, and Homare your wonder kid. We didn't get a Dia Inferno appearance during the Decourage match, which adds intrigue that it might be a member of that faction under the mask. Dragon Dia did confront Shun Skywalker after the final match, challenging Z-Brats to a match to prove Yuki isn't Dia Inferno. Shun offered a 6-man tag with Dia Inferno, Kota, Minoura, and himself versus the Decourage team sans Yuki Yoshioka, and that match will take place on the Kurikan show on April 7th. Dragon Dia tried to counter with an 8-man because he believes Yoshioka isn't Dia Inferno, but Shun insisted that he was, so a 6-man tag isn't possible, and it will remain a 6-man tag. I thought everything on the show was fun and nothing overstayed its welcome. I gave the show 7.25 out of 10. That's all I got.